Good evening, Love Bay family. You're tuned in to the Mental Health Hour, and this is the Insight Hour, where we slow down, dig deep, and talk about the things that shape how we think, feel, and live. I'm your host, Felicia Fishoff, registered psychotherapist and founder of Rooted in Resilience, Psychotherapy, and Wellness, and I'm so glad you're here tonight. As we continue to honor Depression Awareness Month and Invisible Disabilities Awareness Week, we're shining a light on the stories we don't always see. The pain that hides behind productivity, and the healing that begins when we finally slow down enough to listen. Tonight's topic asks a powerful question: who's driving you? Breaking free from childhood wounds in a culture of moreness. How often are our choices, relationships, and ambitions being quietly steered by unhealed experiences from the past? And in a world that constantly tells us to do more and more, how do we find the courage to stop, reflect, and take back the wheel? To help us unpack this, I'm joined by the incredible Andrew Guy, registered psychotherapist, transformational speaker, peak performance resiliency coach, author of Win Where You Are, and creator of the WWYA Freedom Framework. Andrew equips professionals, educators, and leaders with tools to reshape self talk, rebuild confidence, and lead from clarity. And his dynamic, down to earth approach has inspired audiences across the world from TEDx to national television. So grab your tea, get comfortable, and join the conversation. The chat is open. So feel free to share your thoughts, questions, and reflections as we go. And as a gentle reminder, the conversation you're about to hear is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not a substitute for therapy or medical advice. If you're seeking support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional in your area. Now, let's get into it. Who's driving you? Breaking free from childhood wounds in a culture of moreness, right here on the Mental Health Hour on Love Bay, Afrobeat, and Talk Radio. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Love Bay. Hello, Felicia. Hello, world. Hello, everyone. I am so pumped to be here. I'm so pumped to be
Yes.
here. Glad to be here.
It's so wonderful to have you. I
Yes,
know
thank
that
you.
when you reached out and we had a chance to have a conversation,
Yes,
we just clicked automatically, and
yes, yes.
I'm so glad to have you here tonight. And I usually love to start off our conversation by asking, why does the Love Bay family need to hear this topic tonight?
Well, it is timely. First of all, let me just greet everyone. Everyone, if you're tuned in, I hope that you have pen or pencil, as we would say in the classroom, something to write with and something to write on, because we don't just want you to just listen. We want you to be fully engaged and walk away with some takeaways that you can implement immediately. We're not talking next year. We're talking immediately. And so that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Why now? Why this?
Mm-hmm.
Mental health has taken a turn in the global society.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was COVID back in 2020, so everyone
Mm-hmm.
was isolated. So isolation, being alienated, has become the mental, I would say, fork in the road, where a person
Mm-hmm.
has to decide: is it my vocation,
Mm-hmm.
or am I going to choose? It was the fork in the road where I have to choose between my work life and my life and my family life. And
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of drive a wedge between individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, in my opinion, I think that in in today's society where we are individual, that is just gravitated towards family and togetherness, as we will break that down as we move on. We struggle when we are on our own. We struggle when we become
Mm-hmm.
isolated. And a quick example is, if I have a fist versus my fingers. My background is in anatomy and physiology.
Mm-hmm.
These fingers, all of them are stronger when they're together. but
Right.
they become more and most vulnerable when they are separated like
Right.
this. And so COVID make us more vulnerable, and moving out of COVID now, the next era is AI. And so everyone is going, give me more, 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 more productivity, more, 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 more. And so we have now transitioned from being alienated and isolated, right,
Mhm.
individualized. We're slowly coming back together, but AI is forcing us to stay apart. But instead of just staying apart, we're struggling trying to keep up with the machine. And that's where our next, I should say, the trend of mental health issues are going to be taking place, because people are just trying to keep up with a machine that they create, and it's not going to be possible.
Mm-hmm. So when you say a culture of moreness, is that what you mean? That you find that we're just getting so busy, like we're the Energizer Bunny, and we're not really taking that time to take care of our mental health.
No, we're not. See, the issue is not so much that we have become, hamsters on this wheel of, gettingness, but this moreness is what the culture is asked for. If an individual shows up to the table and say, "Well, I'm only going to do what I'm used to doing. I'm only going to do what I can," they are basically 2 3 4 years behind, because everything has sped up since 2020, and in the advent of
Right.
AI. Now it's like, how do I keep up with the
Right.
influx of information and the
Mhm.
demand from the workplace and the wherewithal? How do we keep up? And so people are trying their best, but they're
Mhm.
finding out that the engine that could, sometimes
Mhm.
can't.
Yeah. And so when we ask the question, who's driving you?
Okay, I'm gonna get really excited now, so I'm gonna tell you, fan, just brace yourself, because this is when I get really, really pumped. Um, Felicia, think about it this way:
Mm,
there are millions of cars on this, Canadian highway, and if you travel onto the U.S., you
mhm.
take I-95. I'm talking tons of cars.
Right.
We are never cognizant of actually who is driving. We take for granted that the person, in the next, should I say, not even lane, the next line that
Hmm.
separate, sanity from insanity, means us well. We take it for
Right.
granted that that next person is a great driver, but we really don't know who is driving.
Right.
And it's not just a who, but it's also a what. Who is driving? I'm talking about the mindset of the individual that's behind the wheel, and I'm talking about the motives of the person that's behind the wheel. So there's two individuals driving. There's a
Mm-hmm.
person, the mindset, and then what is the motive? What's pushing that person to keep going, 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 going? That is
Mm-hmm.
also one of the things I want to break down today, to let you see, in this world of moreness, the person who just wants to drive to work is no longer, compelled to drive to work. They have to rush, and everyone is in a rush.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's slow this down a little bit. So there's the
Okay.
mindset, and
Yes.
then there's the motive.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about the mindset. What is important about the mindset?
Well, I like to give this analogy that mindset, a simple and easy way
Mm-hmm.
that I use when I'm doing workshop for executives, is everyone have on a watch, some have on a Rolex, some have on whatever, a Google watch. And I said a mindset is like a watch that tells a time. Is what is your mind set on at this particular time? Right? A mindset, let's say, for example, of both hands are pointing up. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock. It could be 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., but that clock is telling us that it's 12 o'clock. A mindset could be, what's my emotion? Am
Mm-hmm.
I angered? Am I triggered?
Mm-hmm.
Am I in a state of being flustered? Where
Mm-hmm.
am I mindful of what's going on around me? Do I even realize, Felicia, that I'm actually in a car? And so that mindset
Mm-hmm.
is just like a clock. What
Mm-hmm.
time it is? What is it that you're really focusing on and thinking about, as opposed to what you're doing driving on the road?
Mm-hmm. And then what about the motive?
the motive is why I'm doing. It's the why behind everything. So the
Mm-hmm.
mindset could be, all right, I am angry because that guy cut me off, or that woman or that girl cut me off 5 minutes ago. So now I'm in a rage. I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
upset. I'm angered. Now this, 10 seconds later, then there's the traffic jam. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going down, I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I'm going to get you back. And it's about this tit for tat type of thing, do for
Uh-huh.
do. And revenge kicks in and road rage kicks in. And all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, it's a traffic jam and you can only go as fast as the slowest car. But my
Mm-hmm.
motive is to get to work. And even deeper, my goal is to provide for my family. And I have been late 4 times in the past 2 weeks. And if I am late today, I now have an opportunity to either be reprimanded. So now you see how deep I'm getting, because now anxiety kicks in about what if and what may happen if I arrive late again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in this culture of moreness, when we're in that driver's seat, there's two things, two competing narratives, right? So
Correct.
there's that motive that drives us, right?
Yes.
Then there's that mindset,
Correct.
right? And so where do we go from here? So now that we understand what the mindset and motive is, where do we go from here?
The number one thing, the next thing is awareness. I mean, awareness should have been first, but the thing is that if we're not aware, then we'd fall into the false mindset, having false or false positive framework that drives us and really sends our motive into a spiral. So where do we
Mhm.
go from here? Awareness is key. Awareness, awareness, awareness. It's just like the real estate of mental health: location, 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 location. And it asks yourself,
Mhm.
it's like, where are you? Like, guy, girl, where are you right now? Okay, we need to understand and take stock of where I am. Okay, you're
Mhm.
upset, but you're not out in the field. You're throwing a tantrum. You're swinging back and forth on the road. What we need to understand, okay, I am in my car. I am on 4 pockets of air, and
Mhm.
anything can happen. And I'm going to throw this in there. By the grace of God, I am alive and well. So, what I
Mhm.
need to understand is that awareness will let us know that our actions and reactions can have horrific, endings and consequences. So awareness, okay, I need to say to myself, Andrew, and I've done this before. I'm
Mhm.
driving down the street and someone will do something really, horrendous. I'm thinking, oh, how could you do something like that? Take that person's license away, right?
Mhm.
And I need to
Mhm.
stop. And I quickly catch myself here, Andrew, you're in the car. Andrew, you are not just in the car. Your wife is in the car mentally. Your son is in the car mentally. Both your sons are in the car, and you are a son of an amazing mother. So, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to
Mhm.
help me understand that any decision that I make right now can it be catastrophic to myself, and then the consequence of that can cause other people to hurt. And so, what I need to do is make sure my actions are in line with the values that I have, for value of myself and my family and my sons and those who are attached to me. So that awareness is key. You're not just in the car. Other
Mhm.
people are depending on you to arrive alive.
Mhm. So how do people begin this journey of awareness? Because I know it's easy for us because we're therapists and we've done this work as part of our training, and we help other people, we walk others through this self discovery. But how, for those that aren't therapists that are listening tonight, how do
Yes.
we take them on a journey to understand what awareness looks like and how to begin this journey?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. The word awareness is thrown out by a lot of people nowadays, right? The next word for that would be mindfulness. And I'm going to go back to what we talk about, the
Mhm.
clock. And I use the clock as a metaphor to help people understand, because everyone knows of a clock and they know they have to know the time.
Right.
When we talk about being aware of your emotion, and I'm going to walk you through my framework that's
Mhm.
coming up in my book, and we talk about being aware of my thoughts. There is an amazing book, and I had to pause when I say that. This book is called As a Man Thinketh by one of my favorite author in the world,
Mhm.
James Allen, right? And
Mhm.
the book focused on helping individual to be aware of themselves, your emotions, your thought processes. So to make it simple for your
Mm.
listeners around the globe, it's to say, okay, but what am I thinking about?
Mm.
Use diagnostic questions to question why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Don't allow a thought to just run across your mind. As we would say in the Caribbean, don't let that thought live in your house for free. The house is your
Mhm.
mind. Don't let it live
Right.
there rent free. It's got to pay
Mhm.
some kind of dividend. You hear what I'm saying? There's bills
Yes.
to be paid here. Emotional bills are here to be
Yep.
paid. It just don't come and just sit there. I'm just gonna just as we say in the Jamaican tongue, may I cool out for now. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
cool out. All
Yeah,
right.
cool out. No, 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 no. It's like, what are you doing here? What's your purpose of being here?
Yeah.
So the to answer your question, we want to be aware of our thought. And the next question, I think, Felicia, that
Mm.
is
Mhm.
revolutionary, is to say, is it working for me or is it working against me?
Mm.
I use that with my client to say, okay, fine, what are you thinking right now? They'll tell me. I said, okay, let me ask you two basic questions. Is that thought working for you or is it working against you? If it's
Mhm.
working against you, why is it working against you? It could be how you frame, how you interpret that reality that you're experiencing right now. And so
Mhm.
that's the first step to answer your question. Awareness is just aware of the thoughts that are happening in your head, and are they working for you or are they working against you?
Mhm. So, what about the instances where you don't know if it's working for you or it's working against you? Especially, sometimes you work with clients and you're like, I'm just confused. Like, I have no idea if I should go left or if I should go right. So, how do they um, work that out, and even in that kind of processing?
Absolutely love that question. Those kind of questions are, again, going back to being a diagnostic question. It forced the person, as you know, I'm doing, I'll be appearing on breakfast television on the 24th. That's this Friday.
Woo,
And
congrats.
thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
one of the things that we express upon the audience based on my upcoming book, Win Where You Are, I said, you want to pause before you push. Pause before you push. A lot of time we hit the gas because we think we got to keep going, going, going to keep up with society.
Yeah.
Or when the thought comes in, we need to understand, is this being generated by myself or is it an intrusive thought? An intrusive thought is a thought that comes in. It might not be because of something that you're doing. The thought will come in. And based on the framework, I said at the top of this triangle, imagine the triangle is open at the top. If the triangle is open at the top, then thoughts are free to come in. It's like having an open door, it's a revolving door. Thoughts are coming in, no problem. And you're entertaining it as they come. But the issue is every thought wants something.
Hmm.
Well, and asking the thought is almost like hijacking the thought according to the
Yes.
framework that I'm coming up with. I want to hijack the thought before it goes into thinking. Like, who are you? Like, literally, what do you want? People
Mm-hmm.
find it weird to ask themselves, who are you and what do you want? Ask the thought that, what do you
Yep.
want? And it will
Mm-hmm.
force you to go deeper to analyze that thought to see, well, is this something that I'm ruminating on based on a past experience? And what do I do with this thought?
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think you're going too fast for us, Andrew.
You
You
want
need
me to
to
slow down?
slow it down a little bit,
All
because
right,
I
let's
think
slow down, man.
I,
Sorry.
I
I'm
think what
just
you just said about intrusive thoughts, because I know a lot of people struggle with
all right.
intrusive thoughts.
Slow down this
We
again.
can't just gloss over this one, because when we're thinking about who's driving us, and when we think
Yes.
about our thought life,
Yes. I
and
can
when we
reiterate. I can reiterate and I can slow down. All right.
yeah, and
Yeah,
when we
man. All right.
you
I'm
know
just excited about this topic. And I think sometimes our passions and excitement can also evade other individuals too. So perfectly understand. And just from a counseling perspective, we can't go faster than the client is able to, understand what's happening. So I'm going to now switch into my therapeutic mode as opposed to my coaching mode. That was me,
Yes.
just a speaker, coach. That's me. I'm going to switch over now and try to create that environment that's conducive for growth and learning, right?
Yes.
All right. So when we talk about this intrusive thoughts, I
Yes.
want you to imagine that you are in your car and you park in
Mm.
the parking lot,
All
okay?
right.
And the door
All
is open.
right.
The
Okay.
door is open so anyone can come into your car and just sit down. The ones who are uninvited, they just show up and sit
Mhm.
down. How would you feel about that? I pose the question to your audience. If you are in your car, and let's say it's a nice car, you see what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like a Mercedes or
Oh,
a G
Mercedes?
Wagon, I'm getting
What?
deeper, right? A Rolls Royce. You,
Oi.
you understand me, right?
Uh-huh.
And you sitting there and you're liming, you're just chilling by the beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I amped it up a little bit, right, for the people across the world and the Caribbean.
Yes.
You're there at the beach and nice sunshine, the weather feeling nice, and you're listening to some Bob Marley, them I got
Mm-hmm.
tired, face see me face. Yeah, and you feel
Yeah.
nice, right? And
Yep.
you're drinking probably like a pineapple soda. And
Uh-huh.
your doors are open, you want to let the fresh air in,
Yeah.
right? And then, all of a sudden people start coming in your car and sitting down and saying, "Thanks, Brethren. I really appreciate this. Nice leather. I can smell the fresh air. Trust me. Nice. I like, Brethren. I really like the leather. You're softy. And then they want to go and start playing with your radio, talking about Brethren. Put that on Love Bay. Give me Love Bay. Love Bay is on right now. Go on, listen to Love Bay.
Yeah.
Just Love Bay. And you sit there listen
Uh-huh.
to Bob Marley, right? Because you listened to Love Bay yesterday, right? You just
Yeah.
want some Marley. And then the next person come in and said, no, 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 put that on jazz. I want to hear some Motown. And then somebody else jump in and say, no, 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 we need to listen to some Michael Jackson, Thriller. And so do you see what's happening?
Yes.
Chaos,
Chaos.
is happening because you sat there by
Hmm.
your lonesome, your car doors are open, which is your mind is open now. And
Yes.
these different individual who came and sat in your car, which is your
Hmm.
mind, are different thoughts that come in to invade your peace, right? So
Yes.
instead of maintaining and guarding
Hmm.
your peace
Hmm.
become pieces and create
Yes.
chaos in your mind. And so
Yes.
all the world is now messed up. All of a sudden, you're upset. Here's it now. There are four doors. You occupy one because you're in the front. But then
Yep.
the left rear door, somebody came in there, wanted to hear some jazz. The guy
Yep.
in the right rear door came in there and he wanted to hear some Tupac. And then the guy
Mm-hmm.
that came and sat beside you talking about, boss, we have to go back and listen to some Bunny Wailer and
Mm-hmm.
so wait a minute. All of these are conflicting thoughts that's going to happen
Yes.
inside your head. And here's the issue that's going to happen now. You're going to be bouncing from all of these different thoughts, and every thought that you entertain elicits an emotion.
Yes.
Our biggest problem? How
Mm-hmm.
do we regulate? In therapy, we call it self regulate. Self means you have to do
Mm-hmm.
it by yourself,
Yes, sir.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the ability and the wherewithal to manage and regulate those emotions from all those happenstance came into your car uninvited,
Yeah.
intrusive thoughts? They just
Yes.
come in, kick off the door and invite themselves, and now them ask you where the cup holder with the self-heating coffee because they want some Blue Mountain. You see how he gets deeper, and then you get upset that that guy said, "Boss, I don't
Yes.
even drink. I'm a green tea kind of guy right now." Or if you're from the islands, I only drink Milo right now. Hey, pass me the olives. And then you ask the guy, "How come you come and you didn't bring any fried dumpling or ackee and saltfish along with some
Mm-hmm.
kalaloo?" No,
Oh
there's an
boy.
argument going on, and we have this conversation going on in
Absolutely.
our head, and we're arguing with
Yes.
ourselves, and then we fall settle to this concept of maybe I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and then we start to self blame.
Yes.
because we need to cope with this. And we are thinking nobody else is around me, but this is happening in my head. I'm either must be crazy or I am just what everybody else say about we. Then we go back and we, settle and ruminate on what we have lived. Our lived experience become our current reality. And that's where the trouble starts.
Absolutely. Now we're talking. Come on, Andrew. Come
Talk
on.
the thing. Talk
Yes.
the thing.
Yes. All
I'm
right.
sorry. Let me translate
Now,
for people that might not
now,
understand.
now
Speak
we're
the thing.
talking.
Speak
And
the thing. Speak
and
the thing.
I'm so I love this imagery that you gave,
Yes, I
right?
think
Because
imagery is powerful.
sometimes, exactly, when we're in that situation and we're being hijacked by all of
Yes,
these competing voices,
yes,
then we start seeing all of these emotions starting to come up: anger,
yes,
overwhelm,
yes,
frustration. And we're
yes,
sitting there with all these emotions and we're like, whoa, what's
mhm,
happening? And
yes.
we're not able to put words to the feeling,
No, no.
right?
But you know why though, Felicia? You know why, right?
Tell me.
Come, let me talk the thing now.
Let's
Listen,
talk the thing.
what's happening is this: one of the default that we settle for is self blame.
Mm-hmm.
We start to blame ourselves. And when I talk to individual about depression versus anxiety, I said the depression is a result of your lived experience. It's almost difficult to be depressed about something you have never experienced before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety is dealing with future events that I use the computer coding term "what if."
Mm-hmm.
You know, what
Mm-hmm.
if I do this and this doesn't happen? What if I ask that girl out or that guy out and they turn me down? What if I apply for that job? Or what if I stand up in my class to answer a question and then somebody boo me? All of these are what ifs
Yeah.
relating to futuristic thought. What
Mm-hmm.
if it didn't happen yet? And my question to those individuals said, what if it goes right instead of
Yeah.
wrong? And that's when
Yeah.
you hijack that thought. Say, what you mean it can actually work out for me?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, that could happen too. Yes, it's a coin. I flip it.
Absolutely.
Could be heads or tail.
Absolutely.
Could be
Yeah.
good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, it's going to be a lived experience. And so, what needs
Yes.
to happen? We train and encourage, and through psychoeducation, help our clients to become more aware of these feelings and thoughts that are happening on the inside of them, and then question them. Are you responsible for that? Or is that an intrusive thought that came in while you're
Yes.
sitting at the beach, tranquil and disrupting you? And if it is coming in, is it working for
Absolutely.
you or is it working against you?
Absolutely. And I love that you talked about anxiety, because when I sit down with my clients, I say, well, in the book of Felicia, at least in my
Mhm.
book, there's two
Verse one,
roots.
verse one,
Yeah,
verse one. Yes.
verse one. The two roots to anxiety is the fear of something and
Yes.
feeling out of control. Those two things, right? And so I think that it is so important, right? Oh, to think about these two things, right? So if you're feeling anxious, right, about anything, okay, maybe you're fearful, right? Is it going to work out? I'm not quite sure, right? Or do you feel like you're out of control, right? And even in my work, with clients, I just find that there's these especially when it's things that we cannot control. And when we think about this car analogy, right, we need to begin to think about the things that we actually can control, right? And I do want to remind the audience, right, that our chat is open. So if you would like to have a conversation and ask us any questions, ask our guests tonight any question, feel free to drop something in the chat. Okay. I also know that we have a call in feature, so feel free to call in also. So again, fear of something and feeling out of control. So how does that relate to even that car visualization that you gave?
This conversation is getting sweeter, sweeter. You hear me? and,
Mm-hmm.
and and here let's dig a little deeper. So it's kind of like eating a fruit. You bite the first part and you peel the orange and take off the top, and okay, that's sweet. All right, so you
Mm-hmm.
dig down into the bottom part. It's getting sweeter, so you continue to dig in. So let's continue to
Absolutely.
dig in just like that. I like to use imagery so people can see what I'm saying and taste and
Yes.
experience the emotion behind it, right?
Yes.
When we think about fear, fear didn't just happen to us.
Mm,
it,
that's
it,
right.
it's a learned behavior.
Mm,
It's a learned behavior. Let's go
mm-hmm.
way back to being a little child, an infant, just running across the floor. It's the mother or father that said, "Stop! No!"
Mm.
And we program our children to say, "Hey, you see, if you step there, you're gonna fall, and then boom, baby, right?" And baby hurt. Baby's sitting there like, "Mama, Dada, we want to run." And you see, it seems comical, but we
Mm,
actually program them to experience or recognize fear. And if I move that back and put that behind the wheel, there are so many things that are happening as the driver, right? Let's talk about the person who is enraged as a result of a lived experience or a
mm,
motive when they're on the road. I have to get to work on time because I was late last week, and this is my
mm,
fourth time. So now there's an anxiety that's kicking in because it hasn't happened yet. What if I'm late again?
mm-hmm.
Right? Then that creates a set of emotion. Now nervousness, increase in sweating, and unable to focus on the road. So we're talking about the person that's driving because they're under not the influence of an alcoholic beverage, but the influence. We can become intoxicated by our thought. I wish there was a
Mm-hmm.
police officer that pull us over and say, what were you thinking about? Eh? I think there needs to be something like when they talk about drive track checks and stuff like that, when they have like checkpoints. I think
Mm-hmm.
that should be also something they add to their list. Like what frame of mind is the individual in? They might not even drink. They might pass the sobriety test, Felicia,
But they be distracted.
but they're drunk up here
Yeah.
and technologically because they also on the phone. That's another kind of external stimulus that can negatively affect that individual, right? So we have
Right.
to take all of this in concern. Now let's switch to the individual now who is not angered. The person is peacefully driving. They left at least 1 hour ahead of their work schedule so they can get there on time, and they're just peacefully driving down.
Mm-hmm.
How can they maintain that tranquility when they drive down the road? Well, simply, I need to understand, okay, fine, where am I? I am in the car. Sometimes I do it myself too. I said I am in the left lane, and beside me is a red car. I look at my rear view mirror and I said, I see a transport tractor trailer there behind me, and
Mm-hmm.
I do this all the time to make sure I am aware of what's going on, and so it
Mm-hmm.
helps me to become less flustered if somebody do something, and it gives me a buffer. But now I'm going to go even deeper. What if the person who was calm and tranquil because of somebody else's behavior on the road then
Mm-hmm.
elicit fear in them, like, oh my god, what if that person jumps over into my lane? Then oh my god, then I
Yeah.
too now become anxious now because my anxiety is now triggered by someone else's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Could also be because somebody told me that if I see a crazy person on the road, then I flip back to the news that I saw on the television that somebody was driving, erroneously on the road and caused a massive accident. And now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is the same spot that the accident happened. Oh. And you see how that one thought comes in intrusively, or you can generate it because you're now digging down in that rabbit hole thinking about what ifs. It can happen for the
Mm-hmm.
person who's angered and for the individual who's just calm and tranquil because they're now triggered by somebody else or external stimulus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, how do people get back into the driver's seat?
Oh my gosh. we I'm going to give you this thing here. I have this acronym on my phone here that I'm looking at, and it's ACHIPME. ACHIP as in Paul, ME. And awareness, the A is obviously awareness. I want to be
Mhm.
aware of the thoughts that are coming in my head. Are they
Mhm.
living rent free? And if they're living rent free, well, you should have kicked them out long time. You hear me? I
Mhm.
have to call the bailiff. See me? Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or you need to be, I mean, awareness is key. Where am I right now? And the other part of awareness is do I have control over this situation? The next question is this a fear that was triggered because of a lived experience, or someone told me this would happen to me, or this has happened to several individuals before, or was this something that I seen on the TV because of a
Mhm.
broadcast? That you see, it's all about awareness of the information that we allow in our heads and that we entertain. So awareness
Mhm.
is one. And if we are
Mhm.
aware that no, that was on the news, that didn't happen
Mhm.
to me, I have
Mhm.
control over my car, I am taking
Mhm.
back the steering wheel. And before I
Mhm.
move on to the next one, though, Felicia, I think it's worth mentioning this, right?
Yes.
The reason why we must get back into the driver's seat is because there's
Uh-huh.
only two things happening in a transport or vehicle or car or SUV, whatever you're driving, your vehicle. You're
Mhm.
either a driver or you're a passenger. Okay,
Mhm.
the passenger, I look at, or I coin the victim of that
Mhm.
situation, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And because the emotions now become that lived experience that's driving you. So you
Mhm.
are almost like my favorite movie of all time, Driving Miss Daisy, right? So
Right.
Morgan Freeman is driving Miss Daisy, and Miss Daisy's over there complaining about something, right? But it doesn't matter what Miss Daisy said. Wherever Morgan turns the car, that's where Miss Daisy has to go. In other
Right.
words, we have become passengers in our mental well-being, that we've been driven by all those lived experience and our childhood traumas. So
Mhm.
we have become victim and passenger to the thing that is driving us. How do we
Mhm.
get back into the driver's seat? We need to
Yeah.
take back control through the first letter, awareness. Where
Yes.
are you? Something
Yes.
happened to you 20 years ago, Felicia. It doesn't mean that it's happening now. Something happened to a
Mhm.
friend of yours. You saw it on the news. Well,
Mhm.
that's not me, and me is not that. I know that's not proper English, but you get the thing on me. I say, right?
I
Right? So
understand. I understand.
yeah, you overstand, right?
I
So
overstand. Yes.
that's only the A, Felicia. The
Mhm.
C, now I have to make a choice.
Mhm.
I'm now aware. I now to choose. Do I want to entertain that thought that comes into my head? And when I interpret, are we going to get to that one after? But I need to choose.
Yes.
Okay. I'm aware. Okay. What do I do next? I must choose,
Mhm.
because you have an opportunity, and with opportunity comes options. I need
Right.
to choose. The next point is that when I choose, my choices create habits.
Mhm.
The habits are things that are done over time, that didn't just happen. They said, according to research, they said over 21 days it will take to form a new habit, right?
Mm.
But some people have been living this for donkey years, as we would say in the Caribbean. A long
Yes.
time, them I do the thing, you know.
Mm.
This thing, the apple didn't just fall off of the tree yesterday, you know. It was
Yes.
planning to fall 6 months ago when the weather warm up, and you know so the bird come and eat the thing, and you know so
Mhm.
this started happening
Mhm.
long
Yep.
time ago.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
acute to now it's in a chronic state. It didn't accidentally happen. So that's
Mhm.
going to form a habit. Your
Yes.
habit is based on your interpretation of a lived experience that you're experiencing now as your reality.
Mhm.
Let me break that down a little bit there, Felicia.
Yes, sir.
So we can both go for a walk somewhere.
Yep.
Okay, we're walking on the beach, right? A
Mhm.
nice day, right? The sun is shining, plenty of
Beautiful.
light. Yeah,
Yep.
beautiful,
Beautiful.
and all
Mhm.
of a sudden, I feel stuff dropping on me.
Mhm.
Right? It's not raining, Felicia. it's stuff dropping on me, and I have on my my nice,
Oh,
linen top and thing,
yeah. Oh,
me dress up
you know,
nice, You see me?
nice. Yeah.
I may wear my bally,
Yeah.
it feel nice,
Yeah.
I may have a pineapple soda with the
Uh-huh.
sign. I mean, I sip and me a walk, we a vibe.
You look crisp.
Yeah, we are some man. Sure.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, droplets are falling on me, right?
Mm.
And it's also because while I'm walking on the beach, I'm giving imagery so you can see and feel us. And we're walking on the beach, beautiful day. I am drinking this pineapple soda, but me have a nice round bowl of cake, the ginger one. You know the one that I mean,
Mm.
like, no, sorry, me
Mm.
pause a minute. Sorry.
Mm. Mm.
I'm
Mm.
a favorite that still,
Mm.
right? And
Mm.
so I'm eating my
Yum.
bowl of cake. The droplets are all of these birds coming over me because they want to get some of what I am eating. But
Yes.
me now thinking that these birds are ravenous, they're hooligans, and they're messing up my vacation. The next
Mm-hmm.
person you walking beside me say, "Oh, that is so nice. You've created an atmosphere that is so welcoming that people want to feed from your tree, and you just being here like fruits."
Hmm.
Do you see the difference between that?
Yeah.
How I frame it, I may see it a different way, but
Yeah.
another person may interpret it a different way and say, wow, why don't you
Yeah.
just break a piece off and then sit down and feed them?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the birds will come and land on your arm and say, wow, it's a
Mm-hmm.
kind black man. They say, no, me really appreciate that one. Is any more out there like this one? You see me?
You're very loving. You're very
They're loving it. Say, oh, what, brother, let me wrap my wing around your neck and go for your walk. I feel so nice. I feel so loved. Are you
wow.
my pet master? Them kind of thing there. So what we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at, is to say how you interpret a lived experience become your reality. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The P is for your perception.
Mm-hmm.
What perception is this? It's almost like the TV is giving you a tell of their vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
What perception is this creating you now, which is going to create a mindset?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, your mindset goes back to the clock. What time is it? Is this going
Yes.
to trigger you and say, you know what? Okay, we're going back to the imagery of walking on the beach. I have my pineapple soda. Stay focused, people. Stay focused. And what I have in my hand? Pineapple soda. What
Yeah.
was I eating? Bread or bulla? Bulla
Yeah.
cake with ginger in
Mm-hmm.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. You get it. You're
Mm-hmm.
following me, right?
Yes.
And so we're walking down, and then let's say 5 minutes as me walking down, I'm now annoyed by the birds, and then
Mm-hmm.
somebody came up to me and said, "Boss, can you spot me some $2?" And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what is this, man? What is this? The birds are coming after me for my food, and all of a sudden somebody is begging me and harassing me for something. The next person walking again, right? Their perception, their interpretation of it, say, you know what? Wow, it's not only the birds that are attracted to you, even people are attracted to you. You have created such an environment that is so welcoming that people feel like they can come up to you and ask you for something. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that is such a giving, personality. We need more of these in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
you're now annoyed, like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy my vacation. And the other person, no, this is great. You know what? You have change for a five, and the other person besides you, you know what? Just give him the whole 10,
Mm-hmm.
because now you feel like this is an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody. All of
Yes.
that can change. The next one is goes into the M. It's the mindset. So my
Mm-hmm.
awareness creates the choices, and choices creates habits. Habits are created by the interpretation. Interpretation create a perception, and the perception creates the mindset. How you see all of this, it creates your mindset. It's like, you know what? If, for example, we would say, let's use people who self blame.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Oh, it's because of the paint job on my skin why I don't get opportunities to come to the table,
Yes.
or it's because of the paint job on my skin why things are so tumultuous, in the southern part of the United States. It became my people and the police officers, right? And so people who are not even there can develop that mindset because of the perception, because of the interpretation, because of the habits, and because of the choices and the awareness that they have, and say, well, because that happened to that black man, then I'm not going there because it's going to happen to me also. So now I develop this mindset of now I'm now skeptical of every individual that does not look like me. And this doesn't just happen to people, it also happens in reality because of circumstances. And
Mhm.
so now the next part of that now is it creates an expectation. So
Mhm.
because of all of this that happened and the mindset that I have, then now because of my clock and my mindset, whatever the time is set on, I have this expectation that if it happened to that person, it's going to happen to me too. If that person didn't get an opportunity, it's going to happen to me too. And here's the big part: this tragic or this sickness or this disease happened to my great great grandfather. It's going to happen to me too.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
so we now adapt all of these behavior, and then this becomes a reality because then we start to ruminate on it and we self-program ourselves.
Mhm. So we have awareness, we have control, we have
Hmm.
fear, we
Hmm.
have the ability to choose, we have
Correct.
habits, we have
Yes.
interpretation,
Yes.
perception,
Yes.
mindfulness, and
Yes.
expectation. Did I
Right.
miss any?
No man, you do the thing right.
All
Fantastic.
right.
He's a good student.
Uh,
Honorary. Honorary.
A plus, A plus. Right? So, okay, now we're in the car. Now we're
Yes.
trying to get control back over our car. How
Yes.
do we shut the door?
Oh, this is beautiful. It goes back to now. I'm aware of what's happening. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
take you back to the A. I'm aware that, okay, fine, that person came into my car. I did not invite that person in, and I did not invite that person in. I did not invite that person in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to ask myself, are these thoughts working for me? The reason why it's important for me to understand if these thoughts are working for me, because at the end of the day, we want to be productive, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going, the reason for us being in this car is because we're going somewhere. We're going to work or we're
Mm-hmm.
going somewhere. There's something, there's a purpose and there's a motive for me being in the car. I didn't just
Mm-hmm.
happen to be in the car. So I need to be aware of the thoughts. When I become aware of the thoughts, I need to choose, right? I
Mm-hmm.
ask them, are they working for me? Are they working against me? Then I choose. If the thoughts are not working for me, right? I need to reframe the thought because I want you to think of it as I'm looking through this camera, right? The lens, right, will
Mm-hmm.
capture only what the thing is focused on, right? But
Mm-hmm.
within the lens, around the lens, we have what we call a frame. Just like a
Mm-hmm.
picture, a frame allows you to only focus on what's on the inside of the frame. And it goes
Mm-hmm.
back to what you said earlier on. Now, what's in my control?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I am aware, I make a choice and I say, well, yeah, this is not working for me. Let me reframe that. Reframing is putting myself back into control. Now I'm
Right.
around the wheel. I'm not allowing external factors or external stimulus to impact me inside the car. So
Mm-hmm.
now I need to say, all right, these are not my thoughts. These just came in. I need to
Mm-hmm.
reframe and
Yes.
create the thought and the environment that I want. Once I
Mm-hmm.
have done that now, that changed my motive. Now I said, okay, I am finished with my sunset watching. I am now ready to go home. Now
Yes.
I'm going to close my door and then I'm going to voluntarily put
Uh-huh.
on the choice of music that I want to listen to, and then I am going to have the right awareness and drive down the street to get back. So closing the door is deciding that whatever situation or lived experience you have, you need to decide how much of it you want to tolerate. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
heard a great speaker and my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe from Nassau, Bahamas. He
Yes.
said that you cannot change what you tolerate.
Mm.
A lot of people tolerate behaviors and or daily habits because it become a crutch
Yes.
and they haven't really questioned it long enough. Some are not even aware that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they obliviously live through this because they have become conditioned, and it could
Yeah.
also be cultural too, because in a
Mhm.
culture, let's say for example Jamaica, we're known to say if something we didn't agree with something, we might kiss our teeth. It doesn't mean that we reach out and poke up our lip and kiss your own teeth, right? It's when
Right.
you just make a hissing sound,
Right.
with your teeth. I just want to make sure that none Jamaican people, the non-Caribbean people can understand what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
you might show frustration by just kiss your
Yep.
teeth, right? So
Uh-huh.
this is a cultural coping mechanism, and it also sends a signal to let the
Mhm.
person know that, hey, I am not pleased with what you are doing, right? Or your
Uh-huh.
interaction. So
Mhm.
we want to get back into the driver's seat now, because now we have closed all the doors to those intruding thoughts. And now we're
Yeah.
creating our own thinking to generate
Yes.
our own reality so we can determine our own lived experience.
Mhm. Mhm. And we have Miss J in the chat that said top the tings and love the energy.
All right, Jay,
Thank
big
you,
up, big
Miss
up.
J. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, so we have 10 minutes. All right.
Yeah, man,
So
do the thing, man. I am your guest.
let
Whatever you need, man, we can talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's feed the
let
people.
let's talk about your steps, your 5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, you
Great.
ready for this?
I'm ready.
Lord have mercy, fire. All right, so I've written these down, and there's quite a bit of detail. This is coming from one of the chapters out of my book, Win Where You Are.
Right.
And the 5 step number one, first of all, these are actionable steps that viewers can take to frame daily wins.
Okay.
5 steps, right?
All right.
Number one, you want to pause before you push.
Mm,
Pause before you push. The
yeah.
push simply mean I am jumping towards a conclusion.
Mhm.
Somebody, let's say for example, because I work with high performance individual executives and
Mhm.
CEOs, and I'm doing workshops for frontline workers and so forth. And big shout out to the gentleman that invited me to come and do the workshop for the frontliners down at the Toronto Pan Am Center a few weeks ago. Had a great
Mhm.
turnout there. It was great. So here's what's going on. We want to pause before we push. Sometimes we'll just jump into something.
Mhm.
Somebody will do something. We might be at work and somebody come to our desk or our cubicle and just give us a mouthful, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
pepper us with some words of endearment. And it could
Yes.
be a supervisor and it could be a boss. And now you're thinking to yourself,
Mhm.
man, if I give him a piece
Mhm.
of my mind, right? And my people clearly understand what me I talk about. Me, I will give my
Mhm.
peace of my mind. You see, if I didn't
Mhm.
have bills to pay, brethren, would I hey, watch here. Would I talk the thing. Would I,
Yeah, talk it, talk it.
would I tell what it's going, brethren? You
Tell
see?
me, tell
But
me.
and then all of a sudden you're looking around. Our culture be like, hey, hold me back, brethren, because watch it. Me, I will do that man or something, right? I
Mhm.
just love my culture. It's amazing because I feel like I can we're the only ones in the world that do this kind of thing. Hold me back. There's
Yes.
nobody in 100-mile radius of you, boss, holding you back.
Mhm.
You have to hold yourself back. I get you talking to
Yeah.
yourself, right? But the
Right.
thing is that you want to pause before you push. Before you
Right.
give him a piece of your mind, you might actually need that piece to build your piece.
Mhm.
So pause before you push mean become again going back to awareness. What is
Yes.
happening?
Yeah.
What if you are not the problem and that person is just having a tough day and they're also looking
Mhm.
for a surrogate listener or a big set of ears just to hear them. They don't feel like they belong. They don't feel
Mhm.
seen. They have not gotten the
Mhm.
acknowledgement or recognition. And they've been in the company for the past 15 years doing the
Right.
same jobs. And they've seen
Mhm.
newcomers come in and then rise to the totem pole of the ladder. And they are getting the treatment which they feel that they richly deserve. And so
Mhm.
you are not the problem. Awareness will let you know, hey, you want to talk? Is there something you want to talk about? Hey,
Mhm.
you want to go for a walk out in the parking lot? We just go sit down and just take a break. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, I'm having a coffee break. You want to go outside and talk about this?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you have now created an opportunity for that person to say, I'm really sorry, man. I just feel like this company's taking advantage of me, and I've done so much, and I've done all of these different things, and it's happening
Mhm.
in workplaces now. You
Mhm.
know, I have clients who I deal with, you know, just for their
Yeah.
safety, who are experiencing different things. And
Yeah.
bullying is happening in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Why, Felicia? Well, people are not being a community anymore. You
Mm.
remember COVID, you know, separated us, and the marriage hasn't come back together yet. And instead of us coming back together, we're still running for our own, because now AI comes in and said, no, go faster, 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 go alone, alone, alone. And so the fiber of the community is being eroded. So
Mm.
people don't take time to listen to anyone anymore. So the first part is pause before you push. Before you give that person a piece of your mind, consider that the piece that you're giving away, like a slice of pizza, you're going to need it for your own mental nourishment. Don't.
Mhm.
That makes
Mhm.
sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Number two. Number two says, talk to yourself. And I'm going to lift up a book here that I think everyone need to get here. It's called Work Your Words. I don't know if they can see that.
Yes, you can see it.
They can see it. They can go to my website and get it. Also gonna get send out a special link to you that if they go, we can give them a discount and stuff like that. Right?
Mm.
There's also a workbook that comes with that.
Okay.
And number two says, talk to yourself.
Mhm.
Work your words. I want you to consider words are monies that pay you when you
Mhm.
say something. Words are powerful. Words are the substance that we use. You know, I am a kingdom individual, right? I'm not a religious individual. I don't walk around with a Bible because the word is nigh me. It's inside of me. He
Mhm.
downloads that information right into me,
Mhm.
right? And so I believe that, you know, when he said, let there be light, darkness couldn't show up.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, our words basically help to trigger dopamine to flow into the brain. We can
Mhm.
create our own atmosphere, and then we can live in that atmosphere, right? So
Mhm.
we want to work the right words. We want to talk to ourselves. We want to say things like what I'm wearing on my shirt right here: I can, I will, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
And when I go out and I hear 2,000 people chanting this thing when I'm giving a speaking engagement, it's electrifying. You know, I
Yes.
get so into it. I said, I can, I will, I'm doing it. If you're listening right now, I mean, type that in the chat. I can, I will, I'm doing it. Man, let me calm down. I get too excited. But, you know, let me break that down to help them understand what that means. Can
Right.
means I am capable.
Right.
Will means I am willing.
Mhm.
Doing means I'm taking action to
Yes.
transform the environment or circumstances that I find myself in to make it my live reality instead of something
Mhm.
that I read about. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
And we just upon number two, you know.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I know.
All right.
Number three. Number three.
Number three, Maria spun in rise spun the third day. So all right. My people, I have to have fun. I'm sorry. I don't do
I know.
anything that I'm
We
not
love
it's
fun.
not fun for me.
We
I'm
have
telling you. All right.
yes, of course, of
So
course.
number three says, name the noise. Name
Uh-huh.
the noise. Like it's
Mhm.
coming in, it's part of that awareness, right? And then the choice. So when the thoughts are coming in, I have to name that noise, right? Don't allow, as I said, you know, thoughts to live in your brain rent free. Make
Mhm.
sure if they're passing through there, they're paying. There's a fee for passing,
Mhm.
meaning that when the thought comes into your mind, what is happening? How is it benefiting you? How is it again working for you or working against you? So
Mhm.
name the noise. That is an intrusive thought.
Mhm.
What are you doing here? Ask it the question. What do you want?
Mhm.
In my opinion, I believe every thought that comes in wants something,
Mhm.
and sometimes we give it the wrong thing.
Mhm.
Whatever you give to the thought would be like a fertilizer, and your
Mhm.
thought can be considered as a seed.
Yes.
And so whatever you water that seed with, it will
Yeah.
grow. And
Mhm.
in therapy we call it rumination.
Yeah.
When you
Absolutely.
ruminate on this, I
Mhm.
mean, you're really just putting fertilizer at that thing. All of a sudden, something that bothered you, that didn't bother you 10 years ago, all of a sudden it has become a trigger for you. And I
Mhm.
bet say him not say that again, you know, because if him said a word, you know, if him say one more thing in a virgin, what, me I go
Yeah.
lose it. And we
Mhm.
declare that and we tell ourselves we will lose it. We now created that reality. and we have named that noise as a nuisance to us,
Mm-hmm.
right? That negatively impacts us, and so we react instead of respond.
Yeah.
So want to
Mm-hmm.
name the noise, put a name to
Yes.
it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one is number 4. Number 4, you want to guard your energy like your bank account. Guard your energy like a bank account. You
Yes.
wouldn't just allow somebody to come up and say, "Boss, give me your ATM card. Let me go in there and take what I want."
Mm-hmm.
Your energy is the same thing.
Yeah.
Because remember, based on the laws of thermodynamics, is that energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? So
Mm.
the energy can be utilized or
Mm-hmm.
repurposed, right?
Yes.
So you
Mm-hmm.
get up in the morning, you feel really invigorated, you feel strong, right?
Yes.
By
Yes.
Jamaica, you feel your manhood, you just feel nice, you feel irie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great energy.
Yeah.
But then, let's say, for example, you take that same irie, nice energy that the Lord bless you with, because Him say every day new mercy you see. You never had this energy yesterday, now,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got
Mm-hmm.
up with this energy today, and then you go out and you get in your car and you're driving to work, and then someone annoyed you on the road, or somebody's behavior triggered you, and that same energy that you had getting out of bed feeling nice, as now you didn't
Mm-hmm.
create new energy. You
Yes.
transfer that energy into what we call anger and resentment. And all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, you see that person, and now you're not just seeing that person, but you're seeing every person that look like that person, and now you develop this prejudice mindset that everyone who does that is like that. Does
Mm.
that make sense?
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that's what happened. We want to make sure we guard our energy just
Mm-hmm.
like a bank account. Every
Right.
misused output is compounded interest.
Mm.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, just like a snowball, that anger, that resentment grows.
Right.
Your thought towards those individuals grows, and so the
Mm-hmm.
negative energy just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then one day it just bam, you
Mm-hmm.
snap. Makes
Yes.
it harder for you to self-regulate, because you've given so much power and energy, attention, I say, to this one energy. If you don't guard it, then you're going to misuse it. That makes sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh man, I have to say this last one a big up. May I tell you about the thing? This last one here says, it, it, do you see now that I guess Bounty Killer was one of my favorite reggae artists, right? All right,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why 'cause I like the way he announce and declare things. So let me talk about the thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we talk about this number 5 said we want to celebrate the micro wins. Celebrate the micro wins. In my book, in chapter 5, right? As
Mm-hmm.
a matter of fact, this is number 5, chapter 5. We
Mm-hmm.
want to celebrate the micro wins because, Felicia, I'm telling you, the scripture says that many are the afflictions of the righteous,
Mm-hmm.
right? Another scripture tells us that there are no temptation taken us but such as is common, right? And what that means in layman terms is that you are a human being living on planet Earth. This the chance of something happening to you
Mm-hmm.
can. If it can happen to somebody, it can happen to anyone. That's really what that scripture is saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean, oh, because you are blessed and highly favored, that something will never happen to you. You'll never get a flat tire. That's not real, right? So when we talk about the micro wins, the
Mm-hmm.
micro wins are little small wins that lead up to the big wins, right?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
if I have 5 micro wins that
Mm-hmm.
make up a fist, and the fist is the macro win, that's the big one that I can
Yeah.
punch, right? Right?
Right.
Pack a punch and impact my future and everybody around me, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't recognize it like a pinky win.
Right.
Then I only have 4 wins to help me to make that macro win. But
Right.
wait a minute, I didn't acknowledge the ring finger win. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's soft win. That's soft win. That's soft win.
Mm-hmm.
Soft win. No. And I didn't recognize the middle finger win. No. I'm here wait for the big one. I wait for the big one. And you didn't
Mm-hmm.
recognize the index finger win. I gotta wait for the big
Absolutely.
one. And I didn't, because now I've now created a momentum that I become so ungrateful, not expressing gratitude for each of these wins, then I will not recognize the one here, the thumb that curves everything around and create the fist so I can pack a punch, right?
Right.
We
Mm-hmm.
use the term pack a punch to say that you're going to have an impact, right? We
Mm-hmm.
are working on our digital platform. It's going to be launching next year, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, it's going to be amazing. Okay, it's called
Mm-hmm.
Greatest Impact University, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have started this thing 5 years ago, and we've just been working on it. But it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. When we talk
Mm-hmm.
about celebrating micro wins, these are your daily qualifiers. Because
Right.
as a martial artist, I dabble in some martial arts,
Okay.
taekwondo.
All right.
That's why I'm always using my fists like this, right? And my goal was to become a medical doctor, and I started a
Mm-hmm.
program in the United States, and the Lord had a different way, venue for me. And
Mm-hmm.
now I work upstairs. I work at my our company that's called I Work Upstairs Counseling and Therapy Services for High Performance Individual. And so I put all of this together to help you to understand that
Mm-hmm.
these micro wins create daily habits for you qualifying. I brought martial arts in because when we're fighting
Mm-hmm.
in these tournaments, you can't go to the black belt level if you haven't passed a white belt level, and then you
Right.
can't go to the green belt level unless you pass, your two little dots on your belt, right? So I'm
Right.
trying to show you that life is about progressing, and every step is a progression towards the final
Absolutely.
outcome that you want. You cannot ignore the micro wins. And the part
Mm-hmm.
that I want people to understand, the best way the best
Mm-hmm.
way to acknowledge and celebrate the micro wins is to gratitude. I don't
Yes.
have to, I get to. I don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
I get to. If you're a parent, you're a high
Yeah.
performance parent, and you are a busy or business or entrepreneur individual who is a parent, right? We
Mm-hmm.
call those high performance individuals, right? Your stress level may be a bit high. You don't really allow your emotions to control you and say, "Oh, I can't believe I have to." No, you get to do
Mm-hmm.
this. And
Yeah.
I gave them this analogy at the workshop, and I said, think about you getting up off your bed in the morning, and you
Right.
are standing and you stand up. That is also a win. When you
Mm-hmm.
get up, God open your eyes that you can't
Uh-huh.
wake yourself up, but you have to get up. He woke you up, but you have to get up,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Mm-hmm.
fact
Mm-hmm.
that you're able to get up is a win.
Yeah.
And I know some people are saying, Shaman, my friend them who use, my H at the beginning of my name, say, Hanju, come on, man. You can't be serious about that. Hanju, Hanju, you can't be serious about that, Hanju. I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, Hanju, yes, I
Yeah.
can be serious about it. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
don't believe me, right,
Yes.
go down to the ICU.
Mm.
Go down to the nearest nursing home and see how many individuals who wish they could have the miracle and that small win of just being able to stand.
Mm.
It will change your life. So, what I'm saying to you, celebrate those micro wins. The fact that you are able to take in fresh air and exchange it for oxygen and then give carbon dioxide to the tree, that's a win. There are people who have COPD
Mm-hmm.
and they cannot inhale because they have restricted lung capacity, and they can
Mm-hmm.
you think about that, that's a win. You're able to carry out a train of thought from point A to Z.
Mm.
That's a win. People
Yes.
are suffering from dementia, cannot even focus.
Mm.
These are wins. The next big win is, do you have a family that love you and support you? Are you in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship where, yeah, things may not be going smooth and copacetic, but do you have somebody that support you in your dreams and your vision and always there for you? A
Mm-hmm.
win that, man, oh, I'm big win that,
Yeah, man. I'm
In
gonna
other
have
words,
to
that is
reel
a
it
big win.
in. I'm gonna reel it in. Reel it
Do the
in.
thing. Yeah, man, really tin, man, really tin.
Yeah.
But that's number
Yeah.
five. Those are the
Yeah.
five steps. And I want you to
Yeah.
lock in and go. There's a lot more details. When the book
Yes.
drops, it's late December, early January. We'll provide
Mm-hmm.
a link and win where you are. Don't wait to become. It's
Yes.
going to be revolutionary.
Amazing, amazing. So there you have it, Love Bay family. You have to pause before you push.
Yes.
You have to talk to yourself and
Yes.
speak positive.
Yes.
You have to name the noise.
Yes.
You have to guard your energy
Yes.
like a bank account.
Yes.
And then you have to celebrate the micro
Yes.
wins. So thank you so, so much, Andrew, for joining us this evening and for sharing, you know, just your heart, and sharing the laughters and the,
Yeah, man.
just the
Yes.
lightness
Yes.
and, and the insights.
Yes.
Thank you so, so much.
Yes.
It was such a powerful conversation tonight. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and shared space with us here on the Mental Health Hour.
Awesome.
Uh, Again, a special thank you to Andrew for bringing such honesty, insight, and hope to tonight's discussion on breaking free from the stories or the narratives that no longer serve us. And, if you take one thing from tonight, let it be this: your past may shape you, but it doesn't have to drive you. Healing begins the moment you choose to reclaim the wheel. So the chat may be closing, but the conversation doesn't stop here. You can connect with us and rewatch this episode on Love Bay, Afrobeat, and Talk Radio, or stream it across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or directly on their website. And don't miss next week's episode of the Mental Health Hour. Our Real Talk panel is back, and we'll be diving into high functioning depression when strength becomes survival. You don't want to miss this one. I'm your host, Felicia Fishoff, registered psychotherapist, reminding you to take care of your mind, nurture your heart, and stay rooted in resilience, one story at a time. Good night, Love Bay family, and we'll see you next Tuesday on the Mental Health Hour. Peace out.